Three of my dreams, three organizations that I would love to see in America. The first one is a type of a Jewish YouTube where the millions of Jews around America would be encouraged to upload any kind of picture or documentary or little video of how they do their Judaism. Turning Jew into a verb, howijew.com. I actually have that address if anybody wants to help me. howijew.com. I have a vision where millions of Jews will sort of share with each other how they express their Judaism.
David, it's called J-Date.
That's with an agenda.
How to Jew.
How to Jew, or how do you Jew, or stuff like that. Whatever it's called, the idea where we would all share, you know, how we express our Judaism, because the reality of today is that people have their own very specific ideas of what Judaism means to them and how they want to express their Judaism. And in the spirit of Limmud, I think this is something that I would love to see. The second thing comes right out of something Clive said yesterday. He had a session called, you know, what are Jews for? And then he left it in this very poignant moment. And he said, you know, if we weren't around, what would happen? He said, I would love to see a company say, I wish we had a Jew in this company. And he used his words very carefully. He said, a Jew. And there's something about the word that always turned me on, the idea of being a Jew. And I think in the rifts that I've seen in America, when we talk about the disenfranchised Jews, when you go on campuses and you see Jews that have lost their connection with Judaism, I think part of it is describing themselves as being a Jew. And if you took the things that interested them, for instance, let's say they're interested in social activism or tikkun olam, or let's say they were interested in American values, let's say they were interested in helping America. I have a vision of an organization called Jews for America. JewsForAmerica.com, of course. And you take all these great things that Jews do, because there's an idea that Jews are only for Jews. One of the reasons Jews have disconnected is because of this sense of insularity, that we care only about our own. And that turns people off, that turns a lot of Jews off. So that's not true, because Jews do care for America. Jews do care for the world. So it's a question, you know, I'm in the business of branding, and it makes a huge difference how you brand things. So instead of just doing tikkun olam, or just doing social activism, actually give it a name and call it JewsForAmerica.com. It's my second idea. And then the third idea is more of a neighborhood idea. And I've had this since I moved to Pico Robertson. And one of my best friends in the world has a $300 million museum in the hills called Skirball. I have other friends that have another 300 museum called the Holocaust Memorial. And I've always dreamed, I said, you know, we spend hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars doing these huge, incredibly big monuments. And every time I ask, you know, how does this, it's always connected to non-Jews. Somehow this helps us with non-Jews, this helps us with non-Jews, and I see the value of that. But I dream of doing these little neighborhood Jewish museums that would be sprinkled across the country. I dream of just going on Pico Boulevard and just seeing a little place, a $1 million little museum where all Jews can come. You'd be surprised how much division there is in a neighborhood. People talk that, you know, live in the hood, like one neighborhood. The truth is, there are 30 different hoods in the hood. And there's the hood of Aish Torah, and there's the hood of Young Israel, and there's the hood of Bet Jacob, and there's the hood of Chabad Persian, and there's the hood of regular Chabad. There's the hood of Pinto Sephardic, and there's the hood of Yemenite Sephardics. And it's all these little hoods that don't spend that much time talking to each other. My dream would be if there was a little center where sort of everyone would hang out, and it wouldn't just be necessarily a religious institution, but rather one that celebrated all the colors of Judaism, a la Limmud. And I envision where one month we would celebrate the Persian Jews, another month the Polish, and then the Sephardic, and so forth. It could be a place for learning and a place for celebrating all the colors of Judaism where everybody would assemble. And we'd have hundreds of these little Jewish museums across America. Those are my three ideas.
Somebody in here has special powers. First of all, just give a quick round of applause for all four of the panelists. So it's okay, the session's not over. So what I'm going to invite you to do for a second is I want to invite you to turn to your neighbour, and I've got 3 questions for you. The first one is what do you make of what people said, and what question do you want to ask people? The second is what's one thing that you would like to see happen in the Jewish community that's not happening? And the third bonus question, you don't have to answer all 3, is if you were going to see a possibly unlikely cover story in Time magazine 10 years from now, what would it be? So just turn to your neighbours, you've got a couple of minutes. What's a question that you've got for the panellists? Something you'd like to see in the Jewish community?